trying to create idea solutions or even just better questions that we should ask about trust, privacy and control.
The challenge we're trying to solve can't be solved by any one group of people.
Having spent many years thinking about transparency and control, I think we can learn so much from the design community in using design principles to address the sorts of problems that very often we're trying to solve in the policy arena.
And especially a jam like this, in a design jam, we don't just jump into solutions right away. People would get out and do research.
Normally, our remit is talking to politicians and regulators about legal texts. It's very interesting to interact with people who actually solve problems.
We looked at all the data that we gathered and tried to figure out, so what are the key insights?
The most surprising thing is how many ideas we could generate from a very seemingly tough challenge.
Design can actually turn those really interesting ideas into things that people can use and people like using and meet the needs of those people.
They're coming up with solutions and also visuals that I would have never even thought of. And in fact, they're coming to that even before I tell them this is what the law says.
We would take all these ideas and not just have an opinion on that, but actually build them and test them just between the teams that were on site, but that's not enough. So we actually invited people from all over Germany to dial in again.
This is not a kind of top-down thing. Whenever something is developed in these discussions, it's being tested on the ground.
I think the most challenging thing is actually getting rid of the preconceptions. I'm already in solution mode. I think I know the answers and I want to get there. But in fact, my answers are not necessarily right and people keep challenging them. And therefore, I actually start going a different route.
I'm used to sort of, I guess, doing it with a bunch of designers and not with kind of people from, you know, legal or people from compliance, and that's just brilliant.
I hope I'll be taking some of their stuff away back to the ICO in terms of ways that we can implement what data protection legislation says in ways that users are going to enjoy and like and understand.
Regulators and legislators are starting to understand that there are alternatives to how digital services can actually manage people's data and offer individuals trust, transparency and control is such an enabler for the economies within which they operate.